the roll. As Flonata, make sure he pops the med kit. Don't see any extras there, but the fact they're sitting on 3 eliminations. We also, congratulations to everyone in the match aisle, plus 5 points, top 24 trios. We'll have our 4th zone coming out, so everyone's going to be battling for that edge of zone real estate. And right now, not necessarily the worst spot of the map, relatively flat with the exception of kind of the northeast area. And even then, it's not too violent of a grade. There is still a natural high ground towards the southern side. So as long as the 4th zone basically isn't directly over the 2 of those, most of these trios should be moderately happy with their position.
I'm wondering what Flows is a little bit more happy about, the elims, the placement points they just got, or the fact that their entire team 700 damage above Surge with enough 50 pots to provide for almost every single player on this map. They're gonna split them apart, they're gonna up the base, they grab zone 2. Everything's going right for them. But sometimes when that happens, you have to wonder, when does the first thing go wrong? I'm not sure where they're gonna exactly trip up. The only troubling thing I see is that they are around a bunch of other trios, and if they are desperate on Surge, they don't have a chance to do another chop trap again. They're gonna have to go head to head with another trio box to box.
Shia, if you sit there and always wonder when something is going to go wrong, you're never going to appreciate when you're in those amazing moments when things go right. Yes, you can always sit and focus on the wrong, but something can always go wrong. And you only can appreciate the wrong because you've known these awesome moments, like when that 4th and 5th zone dropped directly on top of your heads in the middle of an FNCS finals, right? There's very few things that feel better than that for these competitive Fortnite players to get that amount of pull, particularly when you've set yourself up to be in a position where you don't necessarily have to overextend. And we talked about it where there's a little bit of space toward the northern side, but largely it's going to be a decent investment for those teams in order to kind of maintain this apartment complex. Whereas a team on the south, because they're right on top of that nice little berm and nice little kind of increase in area, if the 5th zone pulls over there, they're going to be much stronger in terms of mats, but it doesn't really matter for Teeq because he's sitting on 150.
Throwing right now too, in terms of just right above and such a huge base compared to everyone else's 1-bedroom twin bed apartment down below. Stormy Right, Kiriachi, 2's finally all active together, and Stormy Right just picked up a few eliminations, so yeah, they should be very good on Search. Are getting ramped over by a few teams, and this should be kind of scary. If you're looking for a little bit of a Halloween theme, this is definitely it. You can't even see out of these builds. It's getting slightly darker, and you're hearing footsteps all around you. Good on Surge. You don't want to open up any of these doors. You don't want to check what's going on above you, but it is Fadil and O'Reilly and Janice. Not sure about their situation, but with open builds, looks like they need some tags. Feature Milan Arianli still having some fun. This time Arianli down, unfortunately, biting off a little bit more than he can shoot. Looking at his own slightly later. As a result, they're getting focused. 124 damage above Surge. With the lack of shields, it looks like they just got above it with a few shots. Arianli might have been the sacrifice overall. They're going to be targeted by Sean VP. If it's not a third party off of spawn, they'll find him all the way in the 5th zone and still send them all the way home. This is unfortunate. Milan now last alive, has a little bit of a situation to clutch. Savage actually finally going down in the feed as well. Kamy picks him up. Wondering what's happening on that side of the map. Still just 51 above from Milan's POV. We've seen people like Snazy get 20 points from this moment onwards as a solo. Dennis actually going down, so Surge must have been a problem. Remix picks him up. Sean VP's trio is actually just soaking up so many different points inside this feed. Vidil's also going to be picked up there. That trio is almost completely wiped out, and we know that there's going to be another one just sitting in the middle of all happening and going down.
While all these Storm Surge tags are going on, we still keep saying setty, kamy, and Teeq. Their names popped up in that feed a couple of times, so they're just adding on to the point total. And right now, Vlad actually has a great beat on just raining shots down here. Not sure if he was the one to confirm that knock. He is going to be the one to end up getting the Elam there. Splash ends up getting taken down, but he's going to basically be able to pass the Storm Surge test. But he needs to be careful playing Luke Goblin right on the edge of the map because there's a reason those players are taking a ton of shots, and he's going to about face towards the side. But the benefit of being a solo player in this regard is you don't care about burning anything. You're like, well, if I happen to pass a pile of loot, there's no way I'm grabbing it at all, and I just need to make some more points. So he's trying to get in the cascading placement points. 51 players remaining, 19 trios. 2 more will need to go down before we're there. 1 more before Storm Surge turns off, and he's doing his best to run the solo points. And speaking of solo points, Indrata is sitting on 4 eliminations right now. Benji Fishy also has the 1, but they're not in the cascading placement points, and he's in a little bit of a desperate situation. Has builds, but no shields.
A trio of solos here. I think it's Chapix, Andretta, and Milan kind of stacked side by side. Technically, they all going to be playing the same type of game, not going to be looking at each other, but no, Andretta actually runs into a full team and gets popped.
And Wings also end up picking up an Elam there, but not before kamy ended up going down. We've been seeing them a ton in the feed in that top left-hand corner, but Fullnet finally ends up getting cleaned up on the backside of the zone. We'll hop on over. Yeah, we can see Teeq has been able to confirm one of the eliminations, but none of setty's knocks have actually turned into any points, so a little bit thinner on the points so far. We are into the cascading placement points now, as we have 15 trios left, so each trio going down is an additional +1 point. Etsy gets the confirmation onto Fullnet right before being taken down by Michael. Scram also picking up Elam onto Surprise. Toost will get Milan. That will end his run just inside the top 15. So picked up a nice little additional 3 points for his team, but that's about it. As you can see, Teeq and Setty looking for some room, but they're a little bit higher up than they're used to. You can see them trying to change level, trying to find a way to change the situation. They're going to do it by recycling a launch pad and getting out of dodge.
I wonder how they actually end up attacking this entire situation. Usually their team is like a machine. Every cog and gear has to be well put in place, at least when these moving zones start. This time, they're losing a big portion of the robotics. They're not going to have Kamy, one of the most aggressive, members of that trio. Even on defense, he's the one kind of responding with the shots and is there to pick up a bunch of the eliminations. Teeq will still be tarping. Scram, Hellfire, all the way up top with Flow, so going to be looking good as well on high ground. Not really contested just yet. Teeq is inside the business of mid ground, though. Zone is still a little bit further away. Actually have setty tarping up for him. He gets trapped and harpooned down, though. Oh no, a little bit of a trap door down below. He gets taken out. That's Verox who picks him up.
Yeah, he's in the business. Unfortunately, business is not booming. They had to close their doors, and Setty is the last salesman on the way out. Close the lights, get as many points as you can, and make sure you lock up. But he's looking to break triple digits after 3 games, so they're going to be happy with that. As you can see, Remix picking up elimination in the top left-hand corner. Floki also getting a knock onto pings. We're into the top third of players. 3 more will need to drop before that Storm Surge is no longer a problem. We do have Scram, Hellfire, and Flonata up on the high ground, but then also hip to hip on the low ground. You see Taste and Reason there with Chapix playing on the backside of the zone, trying to pick up some eliminations. Tripper does finally get knocked by the Solari player. That's Clement. Tayson finding a knock onto Nakos to get a little bit of revenge there. Floki will also find Tripper as Chapix gets a knock onto Gold. We're keeping an eye with our passes winner here, as Toost, Kiriashi, and Stormy are trying to play some of the link and trying to push themselves up onto that first page of the leaderboard here, and their hip to hip is looking pretty good.
This is where all the tension is, though. Low ground, Floki popping off on all sides. Tayson now losing Reason. That might get him activated. Looking for a little bit of damage on these bills. Will he control the stair? No. Going to be blocked off. Going to be blocked off completely. Now he'll have to go backwards a little bit. The bounce back actually coming with the zone. Reason is going to get fully confirmed. We saw that it was going to be other team on the same layer taking him out. Jox is going to take out the Stipthos. Aggrum going down to the feed as well. They have a very good tarp and base all the way at the bottom. Looks like things are quieting down on the bounce back too. Everyone in their old builds. It's going to be fine to just recuperate, assess exactly what there is to do next. 7 different teams here towards the 8th zone. It's going to be a completely passive zone too. No one really getting knocked at all. They're just waiting for the final 9th. Where does this one pull? A nice beam. Good team effort here from Tayson and Chapix. So we got another elimination. That'll be Wix's finally going down. Now there's a little bit of conversation going on above. Oh. People are getting active. Oh no! A random invader at the bottom side of the base. It'll be Crizzy actually taken out. Tayson, Pauly's going to be traded to Chapix versus Crizzy on the low ground. Going to be looking for it, both looking for a little bit of control. It'll be tough to actually gain. It's so claustrophobic down here. You're basically operating with just half a box.
That's so tough for Tayson too, because he kind of checked on the right hand, but you saw him just for a half second kind of hesitate. It's another boundless outfit right on the other side, and he's like, is that one? But he should have known Chapix was covering his 6. It's not a friend, that's a foe in front of you. But Chapix now, a player who's been around for a long time, the Falcon player looking to just get whatever points he can. Setty finally goes down, but was able to rack up at least a 7th place. There might have snuck in for a cheeky little 6. A Scram, Hellfire, and Flonado start working top down. This slight change of verticality could be enough. Chapix has a bandage, but he doesn't need to pop one like Zexro. Instead, just going to run around the corner here, find a little bit of room, trying to bout face. Has the epic pump, but he's already walked himself into a top 4 placement. They have 9 eliminations. It's a bunch of points on the board. If he just waits, Flonata and co have been working top to bottom. They're looking to find the eliminations. Curiosity's still up. Now he's got a top 3. Now he's looking to touch the high ground. He hits a 140. He interrupts the shield, but he can't find his way back into zone. He flubbed the builds, and what could have been a monster clutch for him instead just throws a little bit of a monkey wrench into the final play. It's going to be Kiriachi with 3 floppers back in the zone. He's popping the Stoosh to find a little bit of space and to find the HP. He's going to play defensively, but he has the chance here to play not only for the flopper, but for the siphon. Scram doesn't have the time. Flonata doesn't have the HP, and Kiriachi defensively holds it off. The winner says, get us on the board, Sundown. 6 eliminations with the victory royale. That's 42 points in match number 3, and that puts him in the convo, Shio.
Yeah, catalyst though of that end game in the top 3 situation was Chapix, maybe the Chapalist, I guess, but that was huge for him all the way towards the very end. I mean, a big breakdown too, because some of those top teams, Sundown, they got taken out earlier in that end game.
There's so much to end up happening on the leaderboard. It might be a little mini version of the Shupening happening going on. We'll see a little bit of a shuffle going on, but to break it down, we're going to kick it over to the desk. Zeke, Levin, Reese, take it away.
Thank you guys so much. Very crazy to think that we are halfway through day number 1. That was game 3 down, which means we have another 3 out ahead of us. But Kyryachi showing up big time. I like the defensive play coming out, just understanding, hey, look, whatever happens, this is going to go to a heal off. And I'm just going to box myself up. Like, I can hear things going on around me. I can hear shots. I can hear people running around in the builds. I don't want any part of that, man. You guys fight that out. I'm chilling.
I think he could hear all the people doubting whether they'd be ready to come in this season and actually, you know, be of any significance. Look, a great game. All the top 3 teams, right, at the end of that game took 42 points away from that, right? So, you know, all having varying amount of eliminations, right? Great games for all of them as well. You know, Shia talking about the flavor each of them bringing into that final moment. Look, that's a really good game. Really good game for all those teams, all teams that really should be competing as well. All around, I've still not been surprised by anything I've seen so far in these games, right? Which is a good thing, by the way. Like, it's not a bad thing by any means. But all the teams, well, hopefully not. I don't want to see anything too crazy.
What I am slightly concerned about, though, is the fact that with Kyryachi's team, alongside obviously Teeq and Stormy, right, their bread and butter is just getting top 5s repeatedly with like 4 to 6 eliminations there. And that victory royale was obviously 6 eliminations as well, which is in the elimination mark. They've done their placement as well, but the 2 previous games they were 21st. Wow, that's a good one. 21st on the leaderboard before that, coming into it with obviously only like 20-ish points there. So they're already starting to slip from what is their bread and butter play style. And they're not a team who'll be able to pop off with like 20 eliminations at some point.
Yeah, guys, talk to me about how these teams are dealing with Storm Surge, because we're seeing a large portion of these trios uncontested, but they're not really having Storm Surge issues, question mark?
Well, look, this is the team that came second place in that game, right? And the